The Hangout on Air is live. What's up, guys? Pulling up my notes. It is June 27th in the year of our Lord 2019. How you doing? Welcome to the June Live Mastermind for Mad Society. This is a monthly get-together where we all get together and talk about what happened this month in the forum, what happened this month in the industry, share some ideas, some tips, some tricks, answer some questions, and just generally have a good time. We usually start it off by, like right now, we're waiting for people are coming into the room as I speak. So usually the first few minutes are just me welcoming you. We'll talk a little bit about the forum business while everyone's logged in and getting their headphones on, all that good stuff. So let's start with saying welcome. Glad to have you. Thanks for being a member. If this is your first time watching, the way this usually goes down is I start off with a welcome. I'll go over some business. We'll answer some questions, and then we'll wrap it up. And hopefully everybody will have fun, learn something, maybe hear something that inspires you to try something new and something different than what you've been doing, if what you've been doing hasn't been working. But if what you've been doing has been working, don't worry about changing. Stick with it. Don't get caught in that concept of chasing shiny objects every time something new comes out. So anyway, let's check the chat room, make sure everything's functional, see what everybody's up to. Let me know if you guys can see me and hear me. We got Craig, we got Marcel, we've got people chatting in here. And looks like we're working. Can you guys see and hear me okay? If so, yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right. So good. The chat room's moving. People are logged in. What's up, Kid Diamond? We got NetBiz in the house. What's up, guys? Good to have you. Looks like we got a good crew today, which is cool. It's a Thursday. What else are you going to do on a Thursday? You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday for doing madness if you're into that. And then Thursdays are for getting together and having romantic talks like this with the members of Mad Society. So let's get into it. A couple things in the forum. If you guys are looking for something, a lot of times when people join the forum, they hit me up with a message and say something like, hey, what's the best place that I could start? Or where can I see how campaigns look when they're really running on a traffic source? And I always tell them, go read the follow-alongs in the forum. The current ones that are live are usually a pretty good example of how things go down. So I encourage everyone in the forum, if you're seeing this live, if you're seeing this in the replay, go check out the follow-alongs. Not only, see, I'm not one of these guys that only shows success stories. There are some success stories in the follow-alongs. And then again, there are some absolute failures in the follow-alongs. Then there are people that start off good and that completely it falls apart. Then there are people who start off terribly, like one of the ones that we have going right now. He struggled and struggled. It took him maybe weeks, maybe even a month to kind of get it going. And then all of a sudden, it started to work. And it's a blast to watch. And I think it's important to see that not every campaign starts off profitable. And not every campaign that gets profitable stays profitable. I have a phrase that I say all the time, the roller coaster is real. And I say that because it's true. And until you learn how to ride the emotional waves and keep your head above water just emotionally, you're in big trouble. My first few years were an emotional roller coaster of hell. And these days, like, I get it. When an ad gets banned or a campaign goes down, I go, damn it. But I don't do what I used to do, which was get depressed, and angry and want to throw the computer out the window. These days I just go, well, this has happened 100 times before. A lot of times, if an ad gets banned or a campaign gets shut down, if they have a problem with the campaign, once I fix the campaign and get it running again, a lot of times it'll do better than it was doing in the first place. So don't get upset because you never know when something that looks like an obstacle is actually going to turn into a benefit. So don't get mad. Just go. What I like to say is, your campaign's been shut down. Okay. Your ad got denied. All right. What do I do now? That's my favorite phrase these days. So the offer got pulled and I'm not going to get paid for it. What am I going to do? Go crazy? Bash my head through the wall? Just keep trying, keep plugging. It ends up working itself out 9 times out of 10. Anyway, what I was saying was the follow-alongs in the forum are a killer example if you've never seen one, or if you're looking for inspiration, or if you just want to help someone out. Like the people in the forum, if you are currently running campaigns and you're on the newer side, you kind of need some people to help weigh in on the decisions you're making, the campaign you're running, the ads you're trying. If you do it all by yourself, you can really kind of just work yourself into a black hole. You sometimes need outside perspectives. That's why Mad Society and other places are great communities. A lot of people spend $5,000, $10,000 on courses and they get to use them once. Maybe they learn something from it, maybe they don't. A community is an ongoing tool for learning, for helping, for giving back, for discovering, for watching, for seeing examples, for getting advice. It just goes on and on and on. So I hope you guys use the follow along section for your own campaigns, then also to cheer on your fellow marketers. And then again, to just see, if you just want to lurk and watch, you can watch and see how a campaign goes day to day. It's an up and down battle, but it's, like I said, it's important to know that early so that when it happens, you're not surprised. Something I wanted to talk about real quick about trends that I'm seeing. Look outside, man. The sun's out. Summer is here. It's summer's right around the corner. I don't know exactly when the first day of summer is, but I think it's already hit. And that means summertime offers are going to start picking up. So what is a summertime offer? Well, think of anything people like to do in the summer that they don't necessarily do in the winter. And those are the offers you're looking for. These are things like getting ready to go to the beach. People want to lose weight. People want to get in shape. People want diet, what do you call them, meal plans. People want muscle building products. People want anything related to them looking good at the beach are going to do well. The other one, and this is a big tip, I have just started to see in the last few days, maybe a week or more, maybe 2 weeks, a couple of ads for one of the biggest campaigns that I've seen in a long time. And that is, it's back. I'm starting to see the ads come back. And that is the little mini air conditioners. They would fall under the label of e-commerce campaigns. I believe Giddy Up is who had them before. Well, a lot of networks had them before, but I believe Giddy Up and a few others have it. W4 had it for a while. Not sure if they, again, I haven't run it since last year. I ran it a lot last year and it did pretty well. Internationally, you can run it now. You can run it all over the world. I'm seeing ads in every language. I believe the offer accepts all countries. So this would make it a great worldwide scattershot campaign or a more targeted US campaign now that it's summer. People are looking to cool their house down. Just like someone wants to, these are the boring things no one thinks about. Everybody thinks, oh, summer's here. It's going to be get ripped, lose weight. Those aren't the only ones. Those are great. But there are other things like portable small air conditioners. And these things sell like hotcakes all over the world. And they actually seem like they help people. If you live in a home that doesn't have an AC, you might want a little AC box that blows right on you or that works beside your bed. Believe me, I've spent the first half of my life living in homes with no AC or with like one box unit in the window. And it's not fun in the summer when it gets really hot. In fact, I remember one summer in Dallas, Texas, it was so hot and we didn't have AC for some reason. We were putting ice cubes on a fan. And as the water would melt, the fan would blow cold air on our faces. And that was like our little portable air conditioner. That's what this product is. It's something that people can sit in their room, and it's the claim is that it lowers the temperature in the room and blows cool air. So if you're looking for a campaign that's probably going to be hot again this year, we're in that cycle. Last year, the cool air ACs were huge. I believe they're called Cool Air. If you're looking on Adplexity or something like that, you can type in Cool Air, AC, air conditioner, stuff like that. You'll start to find it. I'm seeing them pop up in the US. I'm seeing them pop up in all kinds of countries. So it's definitely hopping off, or it's definitely kicking off again. The only way that it wouldn't be an option for you and I would be if the ads that I've seen are the advertiser running internally. You know, it's been a year. They may have decided we don't like affiliates anymore. We want to run it ourselves. Now we know all the ads and landing pages that work. So let's just run it ourselves. That could be the case, but I doubt it, highly doubt it. So if you're looking for something to try, Cool Air AC is probably a pretty good idea at this time because it's getting hotter every day. And the pitch is simple. Cool your house for, I think the thing costs 40 or 50 bucks, you know, versus 400 a month using a window unit AC or 200 a month or whatever. And one other thing I want to talk about before we get into the questions. Volume has just implemented a new, highly requested, heavily requested for years feature. I'm looking in the chat room. And what it does is it allows you, I don't know the exact way to describe this, but it allows you to create multiple step landing pages so that you'll have landing page 1 with 4 different places they can go. They click option 1, they go to page 1. They click option 2, they go to page 2. They click option 3, they go to page 3. Then on page 3, if they want to click through to an offer, they can. So you can build more of a step-by-step type of funnel. They announced it the other day and no one really got too excited. So I want to explain to you something you can do with this that is killer, that you've probably never thought of, that only a few people do. And those of us that have done it have seen some pretty epic results. And it allows you to basically turn your landing page into a traffic source. So your landing page would become a traffic source for you. You're obviously going to pay for your camp. Let's say you're running, what could we say? You're running a skincare offer and your landing page is about skincare. Use this product. Here's the benefits and blah, blah, blah. You're targeting women who are a certain age. Obviously, you're targeting women, not men, for skincare products, even though a lot of men do use skincare products. But usually it's women over the age of about 25 or over the age of 30. And the ROI gets higher the older you get because obviously women who look older are trying to look younger. And so that makes sense. So what you can do is turn your landing page into a traffic source for you. You're already, let's say you're paying $1 a click. I'm just making up numbers. You're paying $1 a click to get them to your skincare landing page, right? Well, they might buy the skincare product and they might not. If they don't, these are obviously people who click ads, right? They got to your landing page through an ad. So why don't you use the right rail or even within the copy, the same way that traffic sources do, and place a block of your own ads on your own landing page that look like they are Rev Content ads or Taboola ads or Outbrain ads or insert native traffic source here. Let's say on the right rail, there's a very popular space to have ads. Instead of having it be blank, why not have an ad 1, 2, 3, 4? These ads would be to similar products. So you would choose the similar products based on the customers, the demographic of the people who are coming to your skincare landing page. Those are going to be women over 25 and older. So you could just think of what do women over 25 want. Okay, weight loss offers, sure. Other skincare offers, other types of offers, that anything related to a woman who is in that age range. Could be, they may even want to get a cool air conditioner. Anything you can think of that they might be interested in can be tested inside of your new traffic source module. What happens is, normally if you wanted to do this, you would have to click from your landing page to some other offer. Like on the right rail, you'd have 5 links that said you want to try a credit report. How about auto insurance? How about refi? How about a cool air? How about skincare? How about whatever? And then you send them to some other's property. But with this new volume functionality, you could actually set up 4 different landing pages, all within the same domain. So if your website is coolproductswebsite.com, they land on a page for skincare, then they click on an ad for weight loss and it stays on your website and simply goes to another review page. And on that review page, there are the same ads but the top ad, instead of it being weight loss, it is a skincare. So it turns into this circle of ads that they can click. What happens is sometimes you will find that if someone doesn't like the initial offer, they'll click through to your second offer and read that review and buy that one. Possibly they'll click through a different one and buy another one. Sometimes you can get multiple sales from the same person this way. And it used to be kind of hard to tell people to do this because I believe CPV Labs, which is another tracker, had this functionality a long time ago, but not a lot of people use it anymore. Volume's kind of the king right now, and a few others. But now that Volume has added it, I would encourage you to try it. And I hope that makes sense how I said. You have to think about like different spots on your landing page becoming a traffic source. You're paying for the traffic to come. They're already there. Why not give them other ads to click on that go to your other offers, your other reviews, your other pages? I will say that there is a caveat, like with most other things. Sometimes when you add the block of ads on your page, it will distract them from the main offer. So it's a very simple testing. Does the page with no ads on it make more money, or does the page with ads on it make more money or as much? If equal, keep the page with the ads on it, because what you'll start to do is optimize the ads on the right rail. Let's say these 4 offers aren't really working. Let's try different ones. Let's try different order. Let's try only having 1. Let's try having 2. How about 3? How about 10? How about small squares? How about big squares? How about text links? You can find there's a million different ways to make a little bit of extra ROI on the campaign. So if you're breaking even right now and you added that little ad block to your page and it worked, as well as a page without it, that's now your free traffic source that you can now send to offers and landing pages that are on your same domain. A lot of times when people click off to a new domain, they kind of forget about your site. They're going to go off and do their own thing, but you can keep them on your website. And the ads create basically a circle. So they're here, then they're there, then they're still on your site. Anything they click, they're on your site. And if they do choose to buy something, you get the commission. So it's a really handy tool to have. There's a million different ways to use it, and that's just one. Another way that I've seen people use it is to have a post-click tiny landing page. Let's say you have a review page or an advertorial or something, and they click the link to say, get it now. Instead of sending them directly to the offer, some people will put in a second step where it's a small landing page, or it's a simple landing page in the same format that just says a few more of the benefits, like, are you sure that you understand that this product's amazing and that you can get a discount on it right now and that it'll solve all your problems? Do you understand this 100%? I've seen it sometimes for people to kind of actually say rules, like before you view the offer, I need you to know X, Y, Z, 4, 5. Do you agree to all of this? And they'll click yes. And what happens is, if they click that yes, they're doubly qualified to buy the product on the other side, because they've clicked your review. They've come to a page that says, are you sure you want to view this? And if they're not sure, they won't. They'll go. You probably would have lost them anyway. But if they click through, their interest level is going to be super high. And what can happen is, because only the most highly interested people are clicking through to the offer, if it's a lead gen offer, like car insurance or refi, or anything that's a lead gen, health insurance, home insurance, whatever, the quality will be higher, because instead of just people clicking the link and filling out a form, you're going to make them click a link and then make a decision. Are they sure? Yes. Okay. Then they're probably going to fill out that form. And if they fill out the form, they're probably going to be a highly qualified customer, versus someone who's just filling it out to see what's on the other side. Like if you make some people will just fill it out to see what the results. They're not really going to sign up. We all do it. I've done it 1,000 times. You go through the process until it asks for your name and email and phone number, and then you bounce out. That's kind of what a lot of people will do. And if they do submit it and they're not interested, and you're being judged on quality, your payout might go down. So putting that intermediary page in the middle, intermediary, is that the word? I don't know. Putting that page in the middle, you can kind of more highly qualify your people that you're sending through. Works like a charm on a lot of cases. So remember, two different ways. Turn your landing page into a traffic source, or number two, you could set up a secondary landing page that shows up after the click before they go to the actual offer. I hope that inspires some creativity in your minds. That's as much as I'll talk about it so we can get to the questions. But I hope that inspires some creativity in your head. If you need help with it, let's start a thread in the forum and talk about it. But I think it's a killer feature that should be tried immediately. I'm still using Volume. My recommendation is you should too. I believe we have a link in the forum that knocks the price down to like 65 bucks a month or 67 bucks a month. So it's actually cheaper than it was last year before they hiked the prices. Okay, and that's all I've got as far as stuff I want to talk about. We'll check the chat room and see what's up. People are laughing about the coolers. Don't laugh, man. That's one of those campaigns that will shock you, might surprise you. So let's get into the questions. I'm not going to answer all the questions. I saw some questions here about things that are personal to me that I don't want to answer. Not only just like my personal campaigns, but my personal beliefs and my personal stuff that I just don't want to answer. So if I skip a question that you asked, that's probably why. It's, as a general rule, I do not talk about my own campaigns and these things. So if you add, a lot of people get on here and they want to know, like, what traffic source and offer are you running right now? That's not a question for this. This is a question about affiliate marketing, a Q&A session for affiliate marketing. I'll give you all the help I can, but it would be counterproductive for me to give up my own campaigns that are currently running live on a thing like this. But we'll do what we can. So if I skip your question, don't get mad. It's just you asked something personal. Let's go. First up, we got my man Lewis. What's up, brother? Asked a bunch of questions. Question one, how often do you pursue effortless campaigns? These days, it's the only thing I want. Campaigns that only require a few tweaks from time to time and make consistent profit. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that, because how often do I pursue those? Always. That's my goal in life right now too. I've had years where I treated affiliate marketing like a battle station. Like I was working constantly trying to make the campaigns work better or make them work at all because I wasn't sure what I was doing. And after years of doing that and, you know, making enough of a living that I don't have to stress so much anymore. I had a phrase for this. Return on effort, ROE. So there's a return on investment, meaning how much money can you make on your investment. Then there's a return on energy or time. It's just basically, what's the return on the time I'm spending on this campaign? Because if I'm working 16 hours a day and not sleeping for a campaign, even if it's making 500 bucks a day, it's not worth it to me right now. If it's killing my whole life and I can't sleep and I'm stressed, but it's making a little bit of a profit, then I don't know if it's worth it. I'm always looking for campaigns that I don't have to touch. It's very easy to do. And I'll give you an example of a new affiliate who came in the forum. Well, actually, I've heard many people tell me this story. The way that they run campaigns, and this is not necessarily the way I do it, but it's similar. They will just throw stuff at the wall. They'll find ads on Spy Tools, throw up the campaigns as they are, and then they will either work or they won't. If it works, fine, let it run. If it doesn't work, fine, turn it off and launch the next one. And the goal is to have a suite of working campaigns that you do not have to optimize, test, touch, play with, do anything for. You're looking for the easy wins. Now, that might be 1 out of every 5 campaigns you try. That might be 1 out of every 50 campaigns that you try. It's a different ball game. Because you are absolutely doing what people say you shouldn't do in affiliate marketing, and that is throwing shit at the wall. If you throw shit at the wall in an educated way, in a smart way, meaning you can't just dig through an affiliate network's offers and go, well, this looks good, let me throw that at the wall. This looks good, don't do that. Look for offers and campaigns that are running and viable right now. Launch them in a smart way, as we talk about. Do a real launch. But don't concern yourself with trying to, if it's losing 50%, just throw up another one. If it's that one might lose 30%, throw up another one. This one loses 10, throw up another one. This one makes 25% profit with you doing nothing. Keep it. Now you've got one. Throw up the next one, it loses money. Throw up the next one, it loses money. Throw up the next one. This one, you throw it up and it makes 40% ROI the first 3 days in a row. Now you've got two. And the point, the way that you optimize these is, because what you'll end up with, if you do this for a year, is you may end up with a dozen, maybe 15 campaigns that are all working on autopilot, but they're still going to require some maintenance, because I don't care how great your campaign is or your ad is. At some point after several days, weeks, or months, your ads are going to start to burn out and it's going to start to perform a little worse than it did in the beginning. So even if you're only touching it every once in a while, it's still kind of necessary to get in there and upload a new ad here and there. What you can't do is try to get into the game of optimizing 15 campaigns every day. That's not how you do this. If you have more than a few campaigns, you should not be optimizing them every day in any way, shape, or form. Once a week, once every 4 days, change things. But if you have 15 campaigns running, the way that I've done this and the way I see other people do this is, let's say you had 15 effortless campaigns. They start to kind of die out. Well, once a month, maybe once a week, whatever you're comfortable with. Let's say Fridays. You're going to sit down there and you're going to go through, you're going to spend 4 hours or 2 hours or whatever. You're going to take some serious time and go through all of your stats and ads and things. You're going to optimize, you're going to make new ads, you're going to upload them for approval. You're going to do all your changes on Fridays. Other than that, you should not be touching those campaigns, because again, they're effortless. If they're not effortless, pause them and find effortless campaigns. So it's a different mentality. I do know people that do quite well, and I've done quite well doing this myself. Again, my preference is one gigantic campaign that's printing money, so you can focus on the one campaign and just drive as much. But if that's not working for you, you can run a suite of it's funny, Lewis, you said effortless campaigns. That's exactly the phrase that I use. In fact, well, I won't say anything else. But that's the phrase that I use when I talk about these campaigns, effortless campaigns. So it is literally getting on Spy Tools and what's the word? Being smart, but absolutely throwing every campaign you see at the wall and seeing what sticks. When you get it working, it's a beautiful thing. Imagine 15 campaigns that are each making $200 a day. That's whatever that is. Is it $3,000 a day? Just to check my math. 15, what did I say? Yeah, if you have 15 campaigns that are making $200 a day, each campaign is small. You don't even have to really monitor it or play with it much, and you can earn $3,000 profit a day. Just a completely different way to look at it. But as far as your question, how often do I pursue effortless campaigns? Always, man. That's my goal now. Yeah. So maybe this would be an interesting experiment to have in the forum. If you're not having success right now, instead of running one campaign, it's losing 20%, 30%, and you're trying to drive it into profits. If that's working for you, go for it. If not, you might start throwing shit at the wall. Go to Spy Tools, throw shit at the wall. If it's a pain in the ass, pause it. If it makes money easily, keep it. Keep in mind, this could take you a month or a month and a half to find one. It might not take you that long, but I'm just saying, as an example, be patient, because sometimes these things take a lot longer than you think. Could be a day, could be a week, could be a month and a half, but you'll find one at some point. You'll throw something up and it'll go, oh, $50 a day. Next, find the next one and put up, oh, there's one. It's making $75 or $125 a day. Next, and you'll probably go through 10, 15 campaigns before you find the next one, but you'll find it. Love the question. Thanks, Louis. Moving on. I'll answer your third question. Right now, if you decided to quit affiliate marketing, what other venture would you pursue on the internet to make money? I'll tell you what I would do. I have seen some jewelry, e-commerce affiliates not really affiliates. They own their own offers, it seems. But they're selling jewelry on Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook and Instagram. Ads that say like, get this cool watch, cool bracelet, 75% off, retails for $900. You can get it for $49. And from what I can see, they're getting them from sites from China for much cheaper than they're saying. And then they're making it look like a great deal. And then you buy the product, you ship them the product. And I've seen these guys build their brands from little affiliate looking campaigns into millions of followers on Instagram and Facebook, viral successes, and major multi-million dollar brand values, if not even $1 billion brand value of one of the companies that I've seen do this. But it seems to be huge. And I know for a fact that it's popular because in my own friends and family circle on Facebook and on Instagram, I see them talking about these e-commerce things. And if it's, a lot of times I'll tell them, I'll go look at Alibaba and see like, okay, this little torch that you want to buy that they're saying retails for $299, but you can get for $80. They're actually getting them from China for $4.99. So if you want to get one, you should just get it there. That's with my personal friends and, family members. But I know it's popular, and I've seen some of them blow up, like I said, to epic proportions. So that's probably what I would do. Not necessarily jewelry, doesn't have to be jewelry, but it would be something like that you could buy for a cheap price, mark it up and sell it in massive bulk. Because then the game is if you can start building momentum and getting tons and tons of customers and sales and tons of sales and growth and growth and growth, if you partner with the right person who understands how to sell a company or how to exit a company or how to take a company public, you can go from making, $1,000 a day or whatever to selling a company for 250 million or going public and making hundreds of millions. So it's a totally different game. But if affiliate marketing went away completely, that's probably something I would look into. And what that equates to is basically building a real brand with a real business model where you're buying products for one price, you're showing them to consumers with a markup, obviously, and you're trying to find the demographic that buys those products, and you make a killer profit. So that's one thing that I might do. Another thing I might do is stop using the internet completely and go live in a hut in the woods somewhere with no phone, no television, and no internet. But that's my own personal thought. That's not the question you asked. All right, moving along. We got my man Savon. What's happening? He says, hey, Matt. He said, you've often mentioned you start out a brand new campaign with a high bid, like 50 cents a click. Do you do this regardless of geo? Not always. Usually in the other international countries, I'll cut it in half or so. What is the first topic you usually target? Conservative news is, for me, the most high converting place to start on Rev content. For some reason, it's also part of another trend that I've seen since the beginning. And that is, and not to be offensive or anything, but the easiest demographic that I've seen, the highest converting demographic in the history of affiliate marketing that I've seen from my own results were Christians. There's a million jokes as to why. Maybe they're gullible. Maybe they're not the smartest people in the world. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's what some people might say. But for some reason, that is the highest converting, one of the highest converting demographics I've ever seen. So that's a topic that I like to start with on Rev content for just about anything. Whatever the vertical, whatever the product, that's usually a good place to start. What are the exact automation rules you use to disable widgets? Okay, yeah, I've talked about this many times in the past. Off the top of my head, it is this is what I use, and I don't really take any BS on this. I don't really let anything slide. One-time offer payout. If there's no revenue, pause it. 2 times offer payout. If there's no 3 times offer payout. If there's no profit, pause. Something like that. It'd be 1-time offer payout, no revenue, end it. 3 times offer payout and no ROI, no positive ROI. Actually, what I've been doing recently is 3 times offer payout, and if it's doing worse than negative 10% ROI, I'll cut it. But if it's doing negative 10% or above, I'll keep it. And then I'll set another limit, like 6 times the offer payout. If there's no profit, kill it. So that's, let me see if I can say it in fewer terms, fewer words. 1 time the offer payout. If there's no revenue, pause it, forget about it. 3 times the offer payout and the results are better than negative 10% ROI, keep it. Otherwise, pause. Then about 6 times offer payout. If there's no profit, just get rid of it. Now, if you're working on a budget and your payout on the offer is $100, you're probably not going to want to go that high. You need to, though, if you want to be for real, you need to. But I would do, if it was the payout was $100, I'd do 1 time offer payout, no revenue, pause. 2 times offer payout and no ROI over 10% ROI, negative 10%, pause. And then, $500, and if there's no positive ROI, pause. That's what I would do. General piece of advice, though, if you're new and you have a small budget, let's say less than $5,000, don't try to run an offer that's $100. Do something under 20. Under 50. That way it's at least realistic that you could spend 1 to 3 times the offer payout and not lose, most of your war chest. But that's exactly what I do. Have you been using Volume's anti-fraud kit for bot detection? No, I don't worry about bots at all in any way, shape, or form. That's just me. And to be honest, I don't think I've heard of anyone using it. And if they are using it, I haven't heard of anyone like it really being a game changer in a campaign. That's just me. I could be wrong. Maybe someone's saying things that I don't know about. But in my own personal experience, it doesn't seem like to be that big of a game-changing feature. Okay, next up we got Sprice, who, speaking of follow-along, Sprice is killing it in the follow-along machine. He's had one going on forever. It's been up and down. It's been a bloodbath. There's been high hundreds a day profit. I think at one point he was about 900, 950, 975 a day. It was killing it, but it couldn't break the $1,000 a day limit. And then the campaign started to kind of screw up for whatever reason. And but luckily he had more campaigns launched in the background, and then another one took off. So Sprice has got a follow along. Excuse me, if you haven't seen it, go look at it. You want to see what a real campaign launch looks like, and the struggle that it might take to get into profits up to 1,000 a day, and then to see it kind of fall apart, and then to see him pick up the pieces and keep going. It's a killer example of how to ride the roller coaster in this game. So anyway, here's our question from Sprice. It says, if you have a campaign pop on Rev content, to me, pop means it makes conversions or profits easily. Like if you launch it and it just starts working, to me, the term I say is that campaign popped. It popped. So if you have a campaign that pops on Rev content at 60 cents CPC and wanted to launch it on Taboola, what CPC would you run on Taboola as a high bid to start to work down from? Maybe 80. You could try 60 cents the same, just see what it does. But on Taboola in general, depending on your ad CTR, again, if your ad CTR is huge on Rev content and you launch it on Taboola and it's still huge, you can get away with 60 cents. You can get away with the lower bids. But for an average CTR bid on desktop, you probably need to bid somewhere around 80 cents to get traffic. On mobile, somewhere around 25 cents to get traffic, 30 cents to get real traffic. And then one thing you can do on Taboola, here's what I should have said in the beginning. Do a smart bid. If you're bidding RON, do smart bid and set the smart bid at 60 cents. Then it will bid up to something like 80 cents, and it will bid 60 cents if it can. But if it needs to bid higher to get you a certain placement on a traffic source that's getting conversions, it will. So if you could definitely use the smart bid feature. For me, for Taboola, currently, I just had a talk with my rep yesterday, and he gave me a piece of very obvious advice that I hadn't thought of. He said, if you're running RON, use smart bid 100% of the time because you're bidding on hundreds of different sites. So you can set your bid at 60 cents and it will bid a higher and lower, or 60 cents or above or lower, depending on the results. And if you're bidding on hundreds of sites, that makes sense. That's what you want to do. But if you're running a whitelist, which not a lot of people do, I like RON, but if you're running a whitelist with just maybe even one URL or 5 URLs, it might make more sense to do a static bid and then just raise it and lower it as needed. Doesn't make as much sense to use a smart bid if you're bidding on just a handful of sites. But so that's what I would do. Smart bid 60 cents and see where Taboola lands as far as CPC goes. But in general, you're going to pay about 80 cents to get traffic on desktop in the US on Taboola. Other countries are cheaper. Like I said, about 30 cents to get some traffic on mobile. But actually, I was talking to him about how to get mobile oceans of traffic, and he said 90 cents. I was like, Jesus, that's impossible. And that's what I guess Walmart and places like that, or Toyota, they're bidding 90 cents, guys, for mobile campaigns. So have fun with that. But anyway, I hope that answers your question. If it popped, I'd put in a smart bid at 60 or 70 cents and just see what happens and then adjust accordingly. Moving right along. My man AM Crow M. What's happening, man? What type of campaigns or verticals give a more consistent revenue? E-commerce, lead gen, et cetera, et cetera. As far as consistent revenue goes, I would have to say lead gen. Over the years, like if I look, that's what I had to do. I had to look at the whole 10 or years or so that I've been doing this. What's been the most stable is lead gen. Now, e-commerce is, to me, a new player. It's only been around a few years. I would compare it to stuff like the free trial offers or the really, make money online or whatever. Those offers these days seem to just come and go. They'll run for a month and do really well, and then they just disappear, or the results will completely just fall apart. And that's because they've got weird stuff going on with the banking and on the back end. So for me, the most consistent is probably lead gen. E-commerce would be a close second. As long as e-commerce doesn't run out of product, it's a pretty consistent ride. Like Cool Air, the ACs, I'll give you an example. No. Way back in the day, the tactical flashlights, when they first came out, they didn't know what was coming when they put their offer on affiliate networks. They had no idea of the volume that affiliates can push. And I don't think they were prepared for the thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of flashlight orders that they got. Because after Christmas, it was like in December, they had to shut the offer down. It was killing. It was doing a $5 EPC straight out of the gate. It popped immediately. It was effortless. It worked like a charm. Then they ran out of product in like a month as it took off. They had to stop, order more stuff from China, and it took like 3-4 weeks for them to approve traffic again. And when they approved traffic again, we started running it, it just was never the same. Could be a million reasons why, but that's one pitfall of doing e-commerce is if you or the advertiser is not prepared to fulfill the orders that you're going to send. That's the only time an e-commerce offer really falls apart. And another reason would be some of the e-commerce stuff, they were shipping from China to the United States or Great Britain or wherever, Brazil. And the shipping was taking 4 or 5 weeks to get the whatever gadget they bought. And so people were asking for refunds and they were pissed off and the offer went down. So drop shipping doesn't always work, especially if it's from China and it takes 5 weeks to deliver the product. You might run into some problems there. But as far as number one goes, gold standard, I'd say lead gen. And lead gen just means you send people to a website where they fill out a form for more information. One of the most lucrative and highest paying lead gen campaigns in the history of mankind is for legal stuff. Like if someone had asbestos poisoning or any of those kind of weird things in the air that might have made someone sick. Mesothelioma, what's that called? Mesothelioma. There's a million of them. I can't remember the exact word. But sometimes those forms, just someone submitting their name, their phone number, and their address for more information, they'll pay you $300 because they know that if they take on the case and they sue this big company that made this person sick, there might be millions of dollars for them on the table. So they have no problem paying you $300, whereas something like a health insurance lead might pay $25. You know, so there are some huge, gigantic paydays in lead gen, and it's a good one. All right, next up, we got my man Bernamar with a couple of questions. Let's see. Talking about Rev content. He says, "Hey man, I'm pumped up as always for the monthly gathering. What's up? What are your thoughts on all the changes at Rev content?" Yeah. So let's talk about it. They took away the whitelist feature that was being used by thousands, probably hundreds of affiliates. And it's gone. So have you seen any improvements at all in the quality of traffic since they've made these changes? No, I haven't seen a big change at all. To be honest with you, I was not running a lot of whitelist campaigns on Rev content anymore because, as I've talked about in the forum, a whitelist campaign is a great way to make $100, $200 a day. Sometimes you can have them making $400, $500, $600, $700, whatever. But if you want to get into a campaign that makes thousands of dollars of profit a day, you got to go blacklist. So that's why I've been recommending to everyone for years to have some fun, make some money with whitelist campaigns. But when you're ready, launch blacklist. And one of the most popular step-by-step kind of posts in the forum is about Rev content and how to make $100 a day on a whitelist. In his example, he shows how easy that can be. But in the next step, the next post, he goes on to show how to turn it into real profits by flipping everything into blacklist. And the spend went from like $500 a day to over 10, 12,000 a day by doing this. And he was printing cash for months on that campaign. Posted exactly how he did it. Go into, I think it's called How to Make XXX a Day on Native by Friday or something like that. You guys can link to it in the Q&A comments if you'd like. That might be helpful for anyone who wants to read that. But yeah, so nothing too big has changed for me on the whitelist. Quality of traffic has not changed drastically either. Like I said, my campaigns are running now about the exact same they were before they made the changes. So I wouldn't sweat it too much. It doesn't seem like they have broken Rev content yet, although sometimes that does happen. Sometimes they'll make a change in the traffic source that seems to result in the traffic source going from being massively profitable and easy for everyone to being damn near impossible for affiliates. And that's when we move on. Then a lot of times they'll change their system back and try to get you back, but it's too late. But right now, no, Rev content is still a pretty good place to start. MGID is another great place to start. I think that's a traffic source that people sleep on. I don't know why. I don't think it has a bad reputation. I've never heard a bad word about it other than people saying that they couldn't get profitable on it, which doesn't mean really much. That just means that their campaigns didn't work. But MGID is a great place to start too. In fact, as far as customer service goes, MGID might be the best traffic source for that. Rev content, they're pretty good. They'll get back to you in a couple of days. But MGID, they get back to you in like an hour. But so no, it hasn't. Number 2, with gadgets type listicles, what topics do you recommend on Rev content? Again, I would start with conservative news no matter what it is. No matter what it is. And then what I like to do is add topics. Again, keep in mind, and remember what I just said. I'm telling you exactly what I do. I think of the campaigns that Christians and conservatives, or the topics that Christians and conservatives would be on. And I do those. So like religion and spirituality, that's usually pretty profitable. And things like that. Conservative news, Christian news, religion. For some reason, those seem to be a pretty good place to start. But I don't like starting. It's tempting to want to do the huge topics. Conservative news is one of the huge topics that works. But a lot of them, like the bizarre, strange, and unusual, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone making that topic make money. It's gigantic. But actually, one thing that Rev Content has added recently, and I talked about this last month, is push notification traffic. With push notification on Rev Content, you have to bid really low on that topic, because if not, it will flood you with bogus push traffic. But those definitely are working for me. What I do is I bid really low on them though, and I'll set up some pretty drastic rules on push notifications, like based on the baseline for the campaign, 20 clicks and no click-throughs. If 20 people come to the landing page and no one clicks through, and the other good widgets are like 50% CTR on the landing page, I'll pause. I get a little more aggressive with the rules. But again, a simple place to start for every campaign is conservative news, and then grow slowly from there. Editorial news is harder. It's much more people, but it's harder to convert. Oddly, liberal news does not convert as well for me. It converts somewhat, but conservative news, for some reason, conservatives in general, on every traffic source I've ever run traffic, if you target conservatives or Christians, it seems to make more money. Don't ask me why. I'm in the middle. I could care less either way. These are just my insights. All right, we got last questions from Honeygun. What's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Let me check the chat room real quick, see how we're doing. Make sure nothing's blowing up in here. All right, they just said that conservative news is gone. I'm going to have to verify that. I don't know for sure. I'll check that later. We'll update the thread. Anyway, Honeygun has got the last question of the day. Says, hey man, I'm back from the dead. Said he tried last year and lost his ass. If you want to start testing campaigns in Europe, let's say France. Oh, this is a good question, actually, to wrap it up. If you wanted to start testing campaigns in Europe, specifically France, let's say, do you rip the landing pages in French language, or do you run the English version and target English speakers? Both. For me, I like to make it easy. So the first thing that I will try is I'll test the campaign in English as it is, if that's what I found. I'll try it in English to English speakers in the country. If that gets you conversions or works very well, then I would invest the time to look into getting a translated French page. And you can usually find those on Spy Tools as well. Now, the second part of this question is very good. It says, if you go with the French version, how do you innovate it later in French? Because you obviously don't speak French. What you do is just take it verbatim as it is being run by whoever's running it. Test it. If it works, fantastic. Invest a little bit of those profits into a translation service that understands the language and tell them what you want to do to the page and have them do it. You could even test, this is a pretty good tip as well. If you find a campaign that works, let's say you grab a French language page, you don't know what it says, but it converts. It might be worth the time to, number one, have someone who, like I said, a translation service, give them your ideas and have them translate it. You could even test it on the English page first. That's a great tip. Test it on the English page first. If it works, give it to the translation service and say, I want this, 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 this. The CTA needs to say change to this. The headline needs to change to this. Or the feeling of the first paragraph needs to change to this, and have them do it. Then, if the French language page is working, have an actual native speaking, language speaking college student or someone for real rewrite the whole thing. If you can afford a French copywriter that's actually a copywriter, have them rewrite the whole thing. Because what you'll find is a lot of times your competitor's landing page in French language, they might have gone to Google Translate and just copied and pasted it on there, and it's working for them. They're making 10% ROI and don't really care. Sometimes you can have someone who knows the language rewrite it in a way that actually makes sense. Because if you've ever seen someone, let's say they're from China and they don't speak English, you'll see their landing page running in the US in English, and it says like how you want better look summer for bikini, question mark. And it's like, I know what they're saying, but they're not actually saying it. They didn't actually write it. That happens a lot. So someone who understands the language can go, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And your ROI may double, because now when most people see the page, they're not going to read it and go, oh, this is obviously someone in another country, just guessing at words and using Google Translate. It makes it look like a scam. So that's how I would innovate it. Now, another way to innovate a French language landing page is to not optimize the words, optimize the images, the colors, the buttons, the photos, like the hero image. If you have ads in the right rail, play with those images. Try putting something under the CTA. You can try a bunch of different things that don't involve words. Then the second question, he asks about in Adplexity. There's hits and ad trend. What numbers are you looking for? Hundreds of hits or tens of hits, also good. Me personally, I'm usually looking for 100 or plus hits. But then again, I don't really go by hits. What I try to see is the campaign running today? So what I would be more focused on is, obviously, the more hits, the better. 1 or 2 hits doesn't mean anything. 10, 20, you're getting somewhere. 100, 500, you might have a winning campaign. But a more important graphic to me is when you, like the hit show on the images that come up on the initial search, right? You click that image and it takes you to campaign specific details. That ad trend that runs across, I think it's the first option that runs across. If that shows spikes and then it's gone, that's usually a campaign that's obviously a campaign that's not running anymore. Well, all I'm looking for is consistent spikes of traffic that run until today or like the day before in case the stats are delayed. That's the more important trend that I'm looking for. But as far as hits go, again, the more the better. If it's got 500, that means it's like running, it's been running a while. You probably got a pretty good shot at it, as long as it's not the advertiser running their own stuff. And that's what I have to say about that. And that wraps it up. 3 o'clock on the dot. We'll check the chat room and see what's up. Everyone's commenting that Rev Content has eliminated conservative news. They must have done that within the last 48 hours or something. Because I'm telling you right now, let's just check it while I'm here so we can verify, and then we'll go. Because this will be hilarious. Well, I'm gonna have to contact my rep and say, what's the story here? It could also be in some. No, I've still got it. I've still got it. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's weird. Anyway, it's something we can discuss in the forum. Okay, so this is what they're saying. It's still in the old campaigns if you set them up and they've been running a while, which mine have. But if you start a new campaign, it looks like they've eliminated it. Okay, so we'll have to update our recommendations on Rev Content based on that. But in general, the tips that I gave you still make sense. Conservatives, Christians, still a great demo to go after. And that's it, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me see if I had anything else in my notes. I don't think so. Nope. It says do the Q&A, and then the next bullet point says end. So that's what we're going to do now. If you guys have any follow-up questions or anything, post them in the forum thread. I appreciate you being here. I hope you heard. Sometimes this is how this stuff works. If I didn't say something that can help your campaign directly, maybe I'll say something that sparks your mind, like a creative spark in your head, like, oh, conservatives or Christians, oh, I wonder if I put an image of Jesus on the top right-hand bar of my page, will that make it work any better? You can start to try those kinds of things. Not that I think that will work. It's just an example. Anyway, that's the fun part of this game, is getting to use your creative mind and go, I wonder if, and that becomes a landing page. Sometimes it'll flop, sometimes it won't, but this is one of my favorite things on earth to do. Just go, I wonder if, fill in the blank. And you get to test it and find out. 3 out of 5 times, it's going to flop. But 2 out of 5 times, might do something incredible. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We've got Marcel says he's going to make an MP3 of this broadcast, so we'll have that in the forum as well as the replay pretty soon. So everybody have a great day. I will see you in the forum. Post any follow-up questions or anything you have, any relevant information from the Q&A you can post in a comment, link people places, help your fellow marketers. And for now, that's it. Hope you learned a lot. Hope you had fun. Have a great day. And as always, all right, Todd, I will see you guys in the future and in the forum.